Top of the Martinez, everybody. What's up, everybody on YouTube? I'm here to finally review a movie from my childhood since 1982. So the movie called E.T. Extra-terrestrial by the legendary Steven Spielberg. Kind of rented this one today. So I'm finally going to review my classic childhood memories since I enjoyed this movie as a kid back then, and I'm here to finally talk about it right now. However, I don't want to get copyrighted by YouTube, so I'm just going to show you clips of the movie maybe 10 more times. It has great actors like Peter and Coyote as Keys, Bert, and as Michael. Drew Barrymore's first performance in this movie, and Henry Thomas as Elliot, the main antagonist. Music by John Williams, aka the same person, and from the Star Wars series directed the music. Everybody's been talking about this movie since the very beginning on YouTube of 2010 or 2009, and when they first started doing movie reviews. I loved this movie as a kid. It's very fantastic. And go give Steven Spielberg some credit. He makes pretty great movies back in the day. Since the very beginning of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. The basic plot of this movie is about a random alien from a different planet creature named E.T., aka extraterrestrial. Well, alien gets left behind. And from the big huge mothership right there, which you can clearly see, that E.T. gets left behind, and it meets a interesting boy named Elliot, that's who on the plane of his brother Michael, but refuses, and see that his brother Michael is hanging out with a few other guys having fun of their own. Tells Elliot to get the pizza, but just when he's about to get the pizza and take them inside, he hears a weird thumping noise outside the garage shed. And thinks it's no ordinary coyote that makes noise. He runs inside and thinking it's a real goblin. So in movies, cliche, they don't believe them. And runs out, find a big huge cornfield and shows the appearance of the creature. And E.T. His first appearance looked both freaky and yet interesting to look at. That they made a puppeteer character of this amazing alien look impressive back in the day. They did reboot this movie on the VHS tape on 2002. It was all CGI instead of a puppet. Yeah, it kind of freaked them out at first. And there were some other scientists that are looking for him. And Elliot has to leave a trail of candy to get the creature's attention. And before they do something to him, he leaves a trail full of candy again and his attention. and that this movie's a bonding of a boy meets an alien for the first time. Meaning of friendship and having a great partner. I don't want to make this review too long, but it's pretty much about the main plot of E.T. phoning home, along with his help from his little sister and brother Michael that'll help him get back home. And there are a bit of like a few slapsticks that make me laugh at that E.T. and Elliot has something, and that they have like this bonding connection from each other with strange powers. So they had to keep it a secret till later on in the film. That they know how to build a animatronic of E.T. stretch out his neck. And lovely decorations of all toys. This film does have like some great emotional scenes and very cute moments here and there. There's like a scene of him using his powers to make the flower grow. He does like have like powers to lift the fruits and candy off the ground. And they had to make sure he would find his way back home. While Elliot goes to school. Like I meant, like the scene when I watched a movie of him rescuing the frogs did make me interested to save wildlife of innocent creatures. Not to mention the great, awesome scene in that Elliot gets the random teenage girl to fall in love with him, and doing a reference from whatever this movie is from. And so on the fat kid's back there. It made me laugh. I don't want to show too much. The movie's like nearly almost 2 hours long. And to cut to the chase, in this movie, he doesn't want to stay on Earth too long because it doesn't fit to his natural habitat. That he is homesick and he wants to build some sort of device to send him back home when he reads a book. Also, they rent to make sure nobody knows he's discovered. They put a ghost sheet all over him because it's Halloween time. And uses sort of devices of old toys and numbers, alphabetical words to make him call home. Even though they use like blades. And not to mention his finger can heal the pain. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention the mother in this movie. The mother in this movie is played by Dee Williams. That's right, Dee Williams, the same actor who was in that movie Kojo and so on and so forth with other movies. She's in playing the mother in almost every each roles of the shows in the mid-80s and early 90s. She really has a hard time in her husband and end up in Mexico in tough times, that she's the only mother that likes to look after her children, that she really does care for them. At first she was terrified of seeing an E.T. But later on in the film, she has soft feelings for the creature. And the astronauts and scientists just find E.T. not feeling too well. As a kid, this scared me when I seen them in their astronaut outfits. one you're looking at right now, that spacesuit, is Keys. Jeez. We at first I thought he was like the main antagonist of being the villain, but he's not. He really didn't want to see E.T. for the first time in his life as a kid. That he really is glad that he met him. And I gotta admit, this scene is very emotionally sweet, even kind-heartedly touching. That he's not truly the villain. He really didn't want E.T. to live his moment. Yep, because he was a young kid. And I know the scene really made me cry. It made me teared up with sadness. It just made me glad that he really does want him to live. And I'm glad he's a good person. Anyhow, I almost forgot to mention his brother Michael does act like a jerk to Elliot at the beginning, but later on in the film when he first met E.T., he does have a change of heart to help him get back home, and which they do. They do assist him to get back home where he belongs. And first, they think they failed to save E.T. since he doesn't want to live in the Earth too long, that it doesn't have air like where he lives. But luckily, in the plant, which in the movie later on grows back, that he's still alive. And thanks to Elliot, his friends, and that his heart glows inside him, right there. And they do help him get back home. Including the other kids they met at the high school, ended up in a pretty great, amazing chase scene. And so did the mother. And the sister end up in a crazy, epic chase scene where they first meet him for the first time. And I gotta admit, it's awesome. Gotta say the chase scene is brilliant to see them. Not to mention there's that classic moon scene of Elliot and E.T. toward the moon. It's always been around since 1982 to be in the classic logo of Paramount Universal. So in the end, the movie was a big box office success. And the movie came to end that he and Elliot will meet someday, and most likely parodies. So E.T. Extraterrestrial is a pretty great film for young audience and teenagers and grown adults that enjoy this movie for the rest of the time to celebrate its 40th anniversary. I love this movie the way it is. So, I enjoyed this film many times when I was a kid. There are like extra deleted scenes that you can watch on DVD or watch on the thing, just saying that there are some extra scenes that weren't in the film. So the film was very brilliant. It's quite enjoyable. It's meant for like anyone in young age that watched this movie countless times. And I bet people that react to the film knows what they're doing. It has like stupendous, this amazing graphics, special effects. Simple storyline is him going back home. That's pretty much the reason why I love this movie. It's a bit cute, harmless, and most likely downrightly, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's basically an interesting film that everybody's been talking about since the very beginning. This film will always be one of my favorite ones, and someday I'll probably might do the storybook of it. That's also the same as this movie. So, in other words, this film is a big, huge, perfect success. So, I say this film is not half bad. It's actually one of the greatest films that ever existed since 1982. Between a boy and his alien is one of the coolest parts in this movie's history time. I say if you love watching classic alien movies like I do back in the day, you might actually enjoy watching this as many times as you want. So I give E.T. Extraterrestrial a solid 9 out of 10, and being my most favorite childhood movies of all time, and you will love to watch many years to come. For young children and their children's children. In other words, it's perfect. And someday I'll talk about how the video game that's based on the movie, that sucks. See you around, everyone.